This Earth of yours will be reduced to a burned-out cinder.
Real wrath of God type stuff.
Biblical. No, not yet.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
I came here to give you these facts.
Dogs in camp, living together. Mass hysteria.
We're going to live on. Today, we celebrate.
Flabbergasted by the Audacity.
I'm gonna just start because we have man, if we could do an episode for 2 hours, I don't even know if that would be enough to cover the fucking gravity of how much shit that we talk about. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy. Did January feel long to you? Because it felt fucking long.
It did, and February's off to the same start.
Yeah, it's feeling just as long, but January just felt like
it was disgusting.
Geez, it was long. Like I felt like we did, New Year's Eve, yay, Happy New Year's, and it's like, dude, I'm like, most of the time, can I have a calendar, right, above my wall, and most of the time, I'm like, okay, I've never been anxious to change. I'm like,
you just turn the page, move on with it.
Start what day are we? February 12th. No, we're not. In my mind, we are, and that's where I like to stay. Okay, because this is fucking long, so. But do I even have words of wisdom? Fuck. I feel like you've gone through some stuff these last couple weeks. Maybe you have some words of wisdom to bestow upon us.
The only words of wisdom I can think of. It comes from what you just talked about. January was awful, too long,
yeah.
Too many world events,
yeah.
And my words of wisdom are: fuck you, it's January, but it's over, so we're good.
Thank God. Thank God. Yeah. So this is Flabbergasted by Audacity. I'm Jamal.
And I'm Patrick.
And we have June. I have written stuff written down. I have to scroll down on my phone. That's how much shit I have. and I take bullet points. I'm not taking full on conversations. I'm just taking bullet points, and I still have a shit ton of stuff. Let's get into the stuff that maybe isn't as big before we get into the political stuff, because that's gonna be at least an hour, if not more. Let's go with the TikTok ban to start.
That was weird.
That was a weird. Do you remember that episode of SpongeBob, that old episode of SpongeBob where they steal a balloon, and they have so much guilt that they admit that they stole it, so the cops bring them into jail. They close the gate for 5 seconds and then reopen it. That was a TikTok ban. That's basically what it is. If you can't do the time, if you can't do the crime, can't do the time. Closes it, opens it. Okay, you're good. Cause that's what it was, to be honest. And it's so funny because I'm not sure if you're on TikTok. You're not on TikTok, right?
No.
Okay, so the last couple of days that I was on before the ban was supposed to go into effect, all the creators were oh, thanks guys, follow us on Instagram, thanks for the run. I'm like, this shouldn't be your job in the first place, to be honest. The fact that this is your job is quite sad, but it was just the way that they're talking about it, as they were all gonna die. I'm like, there's other jobs. There's actually real jobs that you could be doing, not this garbage. You could actually
well, that's
be
the thing,
in the
though,
workforce.
because with something like YouTube, the level of production is really up to you, and it seems like the higher the production, the better the quality, the more views and stuff you get. But TikTok is typically it's either minimum effort or barely anything. You could just sit around and talk about how shit men are, how much you hate the president, and you get millions of views and make money. So
yeah, no, it really is.
In terms of content creation, it's probably bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, I think Vine had better.
Dude, Vine was super creative and iconic in its own right. TikTok is just it's a ripoff, and it's a cheap version of it.
Yeah, no, because there's just these two girls. I'm pretty sure it's rage bait. It's gotta be rage bait. Because if it's not rage bait, they're fucking really good at it to not describe it as that, because I have to watch. It's something so bad you just have to watch. And it's these two girls who all they do all day is talk about dating. So it's and they don't use the guy's name, but they dub them oh, this is Wolverine, and this is Putty, and this is Plain Guy, and it's all this stuff. So at first I was like, okay, whatever. Like, there's two girls who just want to talk about their love life, fine. But then the TikTok that fucking pissed me off was they go, we have a Patreon. I'm like, what the fuck could you be doing? You're not doing anything. Like, why would you need to? I'm like, I have to click it. I have to click it. What it was, I'm like, and the worst part is that they're probably making money. They're probably making more money than me. And anyways, what it was is it's basically they have three tiers. The first tier is they offer you dating advice, or like if you send them like your Tinder profile, they'll like rate it or help you fix it. Then the second tier was like you get to hear more about their dates, which I could give less of a fuck about, and I guess what I think it was like all like the previous tier, but my favorite tier was the last tier. They aren't charging you a lot. It's like $5, $10, $15. So I guess they know that they're not going to be making, not going to charge $30 for a fucking dating profile. But the $15 one was like, oh, like you get to like talk to us. Like they give you like their personal phone number so you can text them. I'm like, and people are buying. I'm like, the fact that you have this means that people are buying this, and that just pisses me off.
Well, the problem with that format and what they're doing is that they're basically being incentivized to have horrible dates so they can have these cringe stories that get a lot of views.
Probably, and I'm listening to like what the guys are doing, and it's like, oh, he hasn't texted me back like in 4 days. I'm like, yeah, 'cause he's fucking working. Like, do we have to text back like the minute that you text us? Like, I don't fucking get it. That's the part that was like making me upset, and I'm just reading the comments and like, as you should, girl, block him. I'm like, I want to kill myself. But yeah, so the TikTok man, and just the whole like knockoff app that came off of it, the big one, I think was called Red Note. That probably is.
I bet they were probably
gone.
ready to make bank, and then
Yeah.
TikTok comes back. Fuck.
I'm probably finished. They probably have no money because that's what it was. I think Red Note was the one that I was hearing that was trying to pioneer themselves as to the point where they had this thing called TikTok refugees. I'm like, oh, you're fucking serious? Like, come on, guys. Like, they're like, oh, like we're gonna go to Red Note because we're gonna be the TikTok refugee party. I'm like, boy, yeah, but they still haven't found a buyer though. Which is crazy. Trump said what, 30 days?
I don't remember the time frame, but yeah, it's.
I'm pretty sure he said 30, and I'm pretty sure that was like on the 4th, which is today, like 4th of January. So it's like, chop. Like who? I think I heard that Microsoft might want to buy him now.
Not Microsoft. Not Microsoft.
I hope not. I hope not.
Actually, well, I don't even use it, so I don't give a fuck. But
that's true.
Microsoft has enough, and they mismanage most of it already. So.
Exactly, Minecraft. Thanks. So, but I hope not. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens with that. But I think I had the TikTok, and I had, what else did I have in terms of stuff that wasn't about politics? Oh yes, and the only other thing was the whole plane crash that happened in Washington. Did you hear about that plane crash?
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Which is very sad, very very sad. I think they're saying it's the error of the helicopter. He was too high, from what they were saying, that he had to be at a lower altitude, and he wasn't. I think what this sucks is just I don't plane crashes are bad either way, but when it's kids, that one affects me a bit more. Cause I'm like, man, they had a long life ahead of them. A lot of them were figure skaters. A lot of them were going dreams to, compete in the Olympics, and fucking gone, So
I heard it wasn't necessarily the helicopter's altitude, but that the pilot or pilots maybe, because what happened was at a certain range and altitude you don't have radar, so you have to fly by sight. And the tower kept saying, "Do you see the plane coming? It's pretty close to your proximity." And he was like, "Yeah, I see it. Don't worry, I got it. I'll stay away from it." But he was looking at the wrong plane, so he's like, "Oh,
okay."
He was looking behind the one that was closest to him. Because when you're in the sky moving that fast and that far away from each other, you look like dots.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, oh, that dot over there, I'll stay away from it. No problem. And then you're like, okay, it's really far away. Don't really have to worry about it anymore. And then out of nowhere, going
It's like-
what 300 miles an hour.
Like
Just-
right next to you, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
hello.
So
you know?
literally have like a time frame of like a split second, and I'm sure
Yeah.
all they had time to do is be like, oh fuck, and then dead. So
It's crazy. That's fucking
aviation's
wild.
crazy. It's actually insane. And there's actually another crash, like the week before or something, and people are like,
yeah?
"Is it safe to fly?" And it's like, motherfucker, dude, it's so safe to fly. The fact that
It
there's
is
only
very
been
safe.
2 crashes out of the millions of flights per day.
Yeah, no, it's my favorite statistic is that it's the safest way to fly, but if there is if there is like an accident, it the most likely to be devastating. But it is the safest way to
Well,
travel.
yeah, of course,
by
but
far.
it's you're more likely to die in a car accident.
100%,
So
100%.
Yeah.
So it's like that's great. The last thing that I'll do before, unless do you have anything else before we get into politics?
I got some fun stuff.
Oh, you know what? We need some fun stuff. Please continue.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
we need some fun
okay.
shit.
I have one fun, but before that, I
Oh.
want to do something semi-serious, I guess.
Okay, all right.
So I don't know if do you use Amazon?
Uh, not a lot, but I do use it from
Like
time
loosely,
to time. Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, loosely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's probably the right term.
Well, they unionized in Quebec, and Amazon was like,
Yeah.
"Psych," and then they closed
Yeah.
all the fucking jobs. Like, was it 1,700 people are going to
Yeah,
lose their jobs in a few days or something?
Yeah, it's bad. I did hear about that. I actually forgot to write. Did I write that down? I might have not written that one
It
down.
might have just gotten
But
buried.
honestly, with all this shit, I'm not surprised. But it sucks because it's like I think I gotta give Quebec props for that one. I think from what I've heard that Amazon doesn't treat their workers very well. So the fact that they wanted to unionize, I think that's a good sign. I did hear that the finance minister of Canada spoke to them and ultimately did nothing. Basically, they were just like, yeah, no, we're gone. I just don't like the fact that Amazon's like, it's not the reason that the Quebec unionizes, that's
Just
the reason why we're leaving. I'm
blatantly
like,
lying, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
"It's definitely because of the unionization."
like, the only reason why you could be leaving, there's nothing else. It's like, oh, you want to treat the workers fairly? We're gone. Like, I'll give Quebec props for that one. I think that's a really big sign of having the workers back, having the rights of the workers be respected. And I don't think no one should be working at all anywhere in the world. Unfortunately, there are places that is cheap labor, but at least our own province is taking care of our own people.
It's crazy because all we ever hear is like negative stuff about it. But I'd be really interested to be able to talk to someone who works in an Amazon warehouse.
At Amazon,
Yeah,
the
because we
only
always hear these
person
terrible things, but we don't really know like details or anything.
the only person I know who worked at it was a buddy, one of our friends, Mackenzie.
Oh, he actually did?
He worked for Amazon, and he told me it was terrible. Like, I remember he said that he was driving with one of the trucks, and he would have like 12-hour shifts, no break. Like, you're not allowed to have like a lunch break or anything. So he had to eat on the road while he was driving,
Really?
delivering packages. So I was like, that's why he went to FedEx. She's over to FedEx.
That's wild because at this one time, I think it was for Christmas gifts in November, and so I was waiting for the packages, and at one point the truck is like a block away. I'm like, oh, it'll be here in a few minutes. Like 50 minutes going, like, where is he? I look at the fucking the GPS. Dude stopped at McDonald's. I was like, I guess it's break time.
No, that's probably what it is. The fact that he probably just doesn't have a fucking break. So that's what Mackenzie told me. That was long hours, and he's getting paid more money at FedEx for less hours. Like he's making more dollars like per hour than what Amazon's making. So, I mean, when a company is that big, it gets to a point where you have no choice. It's like, dude, they're shipping how many packages a day? Like,
so many.
You probably, I mean, yeah, okay, Bezos is fucking filthy rich. He probably could pay everyone an equal pay, to be honest. But I do know that's a lot of packages, so I feel like maybe there would be a very big adjustment in terms of paychecks.
It is actually pretty crazy though. Some of these companies are so massive, like Amazon, where you're just surprised at one point where it's like, how are their employees not being paid like among the best in the world?
Yeah, the one company I know that pays them really, pays their employees fucking amazing is Costco.
That I've
Costco
heard.
pays
And they have a lot
fucking
of
great
benefits
benefits.
for
Yeah,
like
tons,
insurance and whatnot.
tons. And I think honestly, like a lot of companies should follow that. I think like that is, if I wanted to work at like a, just a regular store, I would probably pick Costco, to be honest, because it's like the fact that you get all that benefits, like off the bat, and you're making good money. Like I don't see why. I don't see why I wouldn't, you know.
Hmm.
But
Well,
I
because
feel that Costco.
I think
Mhm.
what typically happens, because I know with Costco, the owner, he always had like these certain like rules in place to make sure like corporate greed didn't take over. Like the whole hot dog thing, the
Yeah.
fact that their hot dog
Yeah.
is still like $1.50 or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
is because of that reason. It's like, oh, you're not changing the fucking price of hot dogs. We know we lose money on them, but they actually help with business overall.
For sure.
And
You know, it's like
and what happens in most companies, and I'm assuming it's the same with things like companies like Amazon, is that at some point you get all of these suits in there whose sole goal is to keep cash not only flowing but increasing on a yearly basis or even quarterly. And
yeah.
so they'll make these really shit decisions that screw over their employees and whatnot just to make a little extra. So they could
Yeah.
give everyone raises, I'm sure. But
Oh,
they're like, oh, but
100%.
if we do that, then we don't get our pay raise this year. So
Yeah, exactly. So then there you go. You know, but it's like it's honestly one of those things where it's like I heard about that on CTV News. They were saying like, oh, like, you know, people are gonna try and boycott Amazon. It's like when a company is that massive and they've taken over so many mom and pop shops,
yeah, they
you can't avoid them. It's
you know,
like
they could afford to just drop Quebec entirely.
for sure,
That's like a drop
for
in the
sure.
bucket. They don't give a fuck.
You know, it's like they did still say that they're working with a third parent company to have packages still delivered in Quebec.
Yeah.
And probably that company is going to take a cut. You know, they're probably going to get a smaller cut. Now they go, listen, we're going to take 80%. We're going to give you 20. What's the company going to do? Do they say no and then they get $0?
Yeah, that's still
Or do they at
business
least
for
do
them.
exactly? No, but it's like they probably are getting shortchanged somewhere.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
but
put it this way: Amazon is so rich, they're making they're in the movie and TV show business just for the fun of it.
yeah, no,
They don't
honestly,
make any money off of their streaming service, and they just still do
Nope.
it.
yeah, and their fucking shows are fucking terrible. They recently got they made a deal with the NHL Hockey League that any NHL game on a Monday is exclusively on Prime.
That's wild.
That's fucking massive because that means, you know, CBC and fucking Sportsnet and ESPN and TSN, all these fucking sports broadcasters who rely on it. If it's anything on Monday, you're not watching it. You have to have Prime. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. That they're able to do that. First of all, that they're able to do that. Do you know the gravity of that?
That's
That
big.
they banned. You know, they must have had to pay the NHL fucking a nice stack of cash for that to happen, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, but no, it really is. I you know, I would like to boycott Amazon for that. It's like it's dude, what the fuck am I gonna buy from Etsy? Like,
Yeah, that's the thing though,
I had,
because like you said, you only order from them occasionally,
yeah.
but like for me,
Mm.
I'm trying to collect all of my favorite movies, TV shows, before it all goes
And
away.
where are you gonna find them?
Exactly, because
There you go.
recently Sony announced they're not gonna produce any more DVDs or Blu-rays, so that's fucked. Which means the price
Yeah.
of everything goes up.
Sure, for sure. Yeah,
And if I'm looking for rare things I can't find in most stores, I'll order it on
Yeah.
Amazon. So
yeah.
the clock is ticking for
Yeah,
physical media, and it's
You gotta get. It's true. It is a dying age. I remember a few years back, I was trying to find CD like burnable disc, like
Yeah.
burn music on. And I was like, "Excuse me, sir." I was like, I was at a store. Like, do you have? And he looked at me. He was like, "I think we have some left." I was like, "Yeah, I know. Listen, I know it's rare, but it's for my grandfather. He doesn't have like a smartphone." He's like, "Oh, okay," because we don't really get asked that question anymore. Like, I know this is not it's not very popular anymore. I know, you know. Look, fucking laptops and computers don't even come with CD disc trays anymore.
yeah.
You know, it's like they're like, you want a CD? What? It's like, the fuck are you talking about CD? You know, but I do have some also like good, a nice good news story, and it's honestly super cute. Um, so remember we spoken about this often on the show of how video games now are garbage. You know how they're not very fun to play. They're not
Yeah.
how you know like they're not what they used to be back in the day. Anyways, one night I'm at home, it's late at night, and I wanted to play a simulation game or something where you have to use your brain to manage stuff. And I was trying to find like those simulator games that have been recently popping out of nowhere, like um uh what the fuck was it? Grocery store simulator or gas station simulator, right?
I can't. Every time I see you or Khalil playing those, I'm like, what are they doing? Fucking wasting their time.
So
What is so appealing about those games, Jamal?
so this is the thing. I was going to get it, and then when I started to play it, I quickly realized how boring it was. To be honest with you, I was like,
Okay,
I
okay.
played this one. It was called Gas Station Simulator. I couldn't even get past the tutorial. There were so many fucking buttons of this and that, and I'm like, okay, no. And then I tried, so I refunded it, got my money back. Then I found another game where it was called Tobacco Shop Simulator, and that one was kind of fun, but it gets very repetitive after like 5 to 6 days, because all this is just AI buying stuff. You're at the cash, and then you just slowly upgrade, but you have to make sure that like there is some sort of strategy, because it's like you have to find the sweet spot of selling stuff at a certain price to where you're making profit, but not to where it's a ripoff, because then the AI will not buy it. So I was like, okay, kind of cool, but it still like wasn't scratching my itch. But then I found this game from Coffee Stain Studios called Satisfactory, and I've been playing this game like a fucking crack addict. I'm not even gonna fucking lie, Patrick. I'm playing this game. I stopped at 3:30 on purpose. I was like, if I don't stop now, time's gonna go by. I won't even know that it would be 6 o'clock before I fucking finish. I fucking love this game, Patrick. This game is fucking like, oh, it's what all that it is. It's basically, um, all those mods that you hate from Minecraft that are technology. They put it in this game, but they removed the Minecraft part, and it's beautiful. You basically have to mine iron and copper, and then you get little machines that can do it for you. And then you have to upgrade to get bigger machines that could do it for you. They get conveyor belts that can smelt the machines that can do it for you.
See,
So just
okay,
automate.
This sounds good. The problem I have
Yes,
with games like that is that there's no real goal.
there is a goal.
What is the goal?
And that, so basically, the game is, if I had to try and like put it together, you would take the the fighting, just knife fighting combat from Black Ops 2 and the running from Black Ops 2 with the portal AI of the robot helping you, the portal from the robot portal helping you out
Name's
as
Gladys,
you play.
by the way. Thank you.
Gladys, yeah, because they have a thing called Ada in this one. And then combine that with the automation of, I guess, the tech mods in Minecraft, with exploration, with stuff that can still fucking murk you in like there are creatures and gas clouds that are near my base that if I touch, my health is gone before I know it. So I have to make sure that I'm properly, like, I have like weapons to fight, because then I'll get fucked. There is no like day and night cycle where like mobs spawn at night like it happens in Minecraft, but there are creatures that will be in certain areas that are hiding loot, guarding loot basically, that you have to kill. And they're not easy to kill. Like, one of them fucking shoots fireballs at you from a distance like a bitch. And when you try to get close, it runs. I'm like, you fucking bitch. You know, so it's like fucking annoying to catch. But the goal is you're basically trying to save the world. So you have to build a space elevator, and that requires a certain amount of resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought like you, like, oh, it's gonna be easy. 100. Like the first round was like, oh, I need 100 of this. I was like, 100. I'll get that for you in like 5 minutes. And then I got to tier 2. It's like, okay, now I need 1,000. I was like, okay, all right, buddy. Okay, now you're fucking with me, because to build what I'm trying to build, it takes 24 seconds per round. but that needs another 2 more items, and those 2 items take another 24 seconds per round. So you have to get those machines running, and then you have to get power. If you don't have enough power, then the machines don't work. So you have to go out and get biomass to make biofuel to make it to the generator. Patrick, I'm telling you, my brain, the scratch of like wanting to play Minecraft, like I'm never playing Minecraft again. I don't need to. I never need to.
You're covered?
Ever, because I'm covered, because this game covers it 100%.
Okay.
Because it scratches that itch of the automate. Like you could build a watchtower, and I'll just sit there and just watch until my fucking power goes off, and I'm like, fucking bitch, and I have to go get more biofuel. But until that time comes, I just watch. I'm like, this is fucking beautiful. And so once again, this is a very small studio. They don't make many games, and this is what I'm saying. It's a Swedish. So again, man, I don't know what it is about the Swedish people, but Minecraft, Satisfactory, like, they're popping off. You
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're fucking doing. But again, super small, like factory, but they are the people behind Goat Simulator and behind your game Deep Rock Galactic. So
Okay.
if you like Deep Rock, Patrick, I'm just saying,
Deep Rock was good, but it got repetitive. That's all.
this one doesn't really get as repetitive, to be honest. I feel like they've done a better job, because every time that you need how would you say, like a new tier would unlock, because not only do you have to get the space elevator to get that stuff, you also have tiers that you have to unlock. Like they're not as expensive as the main goal, but in order to get like steel, for example, you have to give them certain materials for that to be unlocked, basically. And you could choose. They're like, listen, you don't have to. You could do it the harder way if you want. But if you want to do the easier way, give us these materials, then we'll give you the ability to make steel. I'm like, okay, like there's like incentive to upgrade and get everything every tier has, so it makes your life a bit easier, you know.
Okay.
So been really having a fucking fantastic time. This is their newest game, and the reviews, I don't really give reviews on Steam, but I posted a review myself because I was like, people have to play this game.
I saw that and I read it and I was like, yep, this is how Jamal writes.
Fuck off. What, it was proper English? No.
It's like, yeah. Because you ended up talking about more why you hate Minecraft than why you like this game.
Well, I don't, because with the Minecraft version...
Because you start out with like, you know how Minecraft's like a game? I don't like that. Fuck that. Satisfactory, good. And then I was like, oh, okay.
Well, it's just like, you know,
It's just funny.
with like buildcraft and like industrial craft, like I was limited by Minecraft, like the system of Minecraft, like being blocks and whatever. With this game, I'm not limited to that. Like the conveyor belts can be in a circle. It's like, oh wow, circles. You know, it's like it gives me a bit more. Now, don't get me wrong. This game still has faults. It's not perfect. You know, I think my main problem with it right now is that there's a bit of realism that's missing from the game that I'm not really enjoying. Like, for example, you could put a conveyor belt straight through like a fucking electrical pole and they're cool with it. I'm like, see, I don't like that. So
Yeah.
I'll purposely go around it. But what they do tell you is, instead of it blue, which is it's clear from obstacles, it just says yellow. It says clipping may occur. So when I see that, I just avoid it. I'm like, okay, like at least it tells me. You can still build if you want to. It's like, hey, if you want to do it, you can. But technically speaking, clipping can occur if you build this. I'm like, okay, I'll just find an ulterior way to get around this, you know, basically. So, but I'm having a great time. Fucking love it. So, I have a look. Again, I have no hope in the main companies, but in the smaller companies,
Yeah, they're doing pretty good.
like Satisfactory, they're doing great. You know, they're doing a good job, man. They started with Goat Simulator and then Deep, you know, Galactic, and now Satisfactory. So I was like, you know what, guys, take my fucking money. Take my fucking money.
Games like Satisfactory, I tend to enjoy for a while, but it's like the reason I asked you if there was a goal is because we find out typically in those kinds of games there isn't really much of a goal, or
I get you.
You're not really incentivized to complete it. Like something like Deep Rock Galactic, where it's the same thing over and over again, or
Exactly.
what was it? Fucking the space game we played for a day. What was that?
Oh, No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I was like, No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
It's a pretty great game, but there's no goal.
Like the goal is so hard to get to. It's like you get lost.
Well, not even. Isn't the goal just to go to the center of the universe?
Yeah, it was like, it's
But
the Artemis,
why?
all this bullshit. It's like,
No,
yeah.
the thing is, like,
This
why?
game,
Why am I doing that? There's no
it's
incentive to
no,
do that.
they tell you it's like you're saving the world. You're saving the world. You have to build a space elevator, and you have to take this planet and completely strip it of natural resources. Like you're just
Is
you're
it a
just
is it
trying.
a progressive story? Like there's like story beats along the way, or it's just this is your goal, that's it.
I guess what I could mean is when you build a space elevator, you have tier 1. You have to get those materials to the space elevator to unlock the next tier, which is tier 2.
No,
You
see
had to get
that's
tier
that's
3.
that's my point though, Jamal. It's like the only incentive is that the game tells you to save the world, but there's no like forward thrust like in terms of story. Because that's the thing I loved about Subnautica, is you were always progressing towards the goal of escaping the planet, but you also had the story of previous survivors and story logs and different science,
I guess,
like
like-
science studies, and finding out what happened to the planet. So that's like Subnautica was like top tier in terms of like survival, advancing technology, and
Yeah, no, you're
actually
right.
having a goal.
I think it brushes up on it because like again I've been so focused on just trying to get everything functioning properly that I haven't really explored too much, but I did explore a little bit. I did find a fallen I found a flight how would you call it? A recording, like a software of another pioneer that landed on that planet and died, and they had like a black box that I took back. It was to decipher, basically. So there's that. The elevator, it just tells you this is your main goal. You don't have to do it, but you're just basically doing nothing. Like that's your incentive, is to complete that. Now there is no timer. It's not like you're up against like, hey, if you don't do it, you know the planet's fucked. But if you are not upgrading your stuff, you can never reach the next tier. You have to be upgrading at a certain point. Like one of them requires steel. If you do not get the tier 2 goal of unlocking steel, then you can never complete the next tier of the space elevator. Now I don't know, maybe at the space elevator there's more, but I have no fucking clue. Cause I'm still only at tier 3. I just unlocked tier 3 last night. So like I don't know. After there's only, I think there's 2 more tiers on the fucking thing. Is there gonna be more? I couldn't fucking tell you. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah. Well, I
So-
guess at that point it becomes like if the building and advancing is satisfying enough, then you don't really need much of a story. Because like, think about Minecraft. I love Minecraft, but the story is whatever. It doesn't
Exactly.
really matter. But the
Yeah.
satisfaction I get from building is it outweighs that problem. So
There you go. So then for me, it's the fact that I'm looking at the machines, everything's being automated, everything's running smoothly, there is no clogs. I hate seeing like the iron just sitting there and it's not going in the factory because it's not producing it fast enough. So I'm like, okay, I gotta maybe diversify the iron and send it in different directions. Maybe some other machines might need more iron than this one does. So everything is moving properly, you know? That's my satisfactory behind this, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah. But besides that, let's get into it, Patrick. Let's just fucking rip off the fucking band-aid. So, Trump's in office. I'm about to rip this motherfucker like hard.
But
Because-
before we go
Yes.
go any further, it's absolutely insane. Just like during the actual building up to the elections, anytime this man does anything, it's either wow, that's great, or what the fuck is he doing? We're all gonna die.
Basically, right?
It's continuing. It's insane. Every day I hear, oh, he did this, it's gonna be great, and the other side, he did this, it's gonna be fucking terrible. It's like, oh my god.
So again, what's the disclaimer? I'm gonna put a disclaimer on myself. Right now, I fucking hate him. Right now, maybe we'll see down the line. Right now, I fucking can't stand this fucking guy. Right? We'll see in the future. This is a disclaimer. I've done my research. I've checked multiple sources. It's the one fucking time where I've actually sat down and read like article after article. Now, are these articles biased? I don't know what they got their information from, but I'm taking live clippings of him quoting stuff, him saying it. This is him. This is not, I'm getting it from the source directly. I've checked Fox News, I've checked ABC, I've checked The Guardian, I've checked Wall Street, I've checked Vox. So I've checked a lot of sources to where whatever was not not up to date, but I guess whatever was like inaccurate, where maybe like one source would say one thing, one source would say the other. I threw it out. I said because you guys are not lining up together, therefore one of you guys is not telling the truth. I don't know which one it is, so I threw it out. I'm not including that in what I'm about to say. What I'm saying here is basically 4 out of the 5 or all 5 sources have said the exact same thing. Now, could be possible that all 5 are wrong. If that's the case, then
Or
I'll go fuck myself.
even another possibility is that they're all owned by the same parent company, and they have
I
to
hope.
say
I don't think
these-
Fox and ABC are owned by the same company. I'd be very
You'd be surprised. I
Yeah.
don't know specifically if those two are tied together, but
Yeah.
it's like when you go to the grocery store. It turns out everything is owned by Nestle.
This is true. Yeah, no, 100%. So let's go with what Trump wanted to do on day one. What did he want to do? Right. So he wanted to put the tariffs. We know about that. That's going to be a very
The tariffs
conversation.
are insane. I was worried because I remember you brought it up, but he's using it as leverage to get what he wants in other aspects and areas, and it's working like a charm so far, which I'm very impressed by. And now, if we could just get fucking Trudeau out and let Polyev actually do the dealings with Trump, that would be perfect for Canada and the USA.
So I'm gonna come back to that because I'm about to destroy that whole scenario that you just built up. But I like where like you're coming from. So he wanted to do that, right? He wanted to get to Greenland, right? He wanted to end the war in Ukraine. He wanted to end the war in the Middle East. He wanted to tackle the opioid crisis, right? He said that he's going to lower the grocery prices. He's going to lower gas prices, right? So these are all things that he said. These are just a small portion of stuff that he wanted to do. What did he do on his first day? He ended removal of the USA birthright. Do you know what that means?
No. Oh, is that the immigrants who their children are born here?
Exactly, right?
That's fine.
So that means if you're an immigrant and your child is born here in America, that does not mean that you're American. That was banned.
Yeah, it makes sense because a lot of people were essentially using that as a way to become an American, which is
but
it's a
Patrick,
loophole. It's disgusting. Get out of here. I don't live here. Never mind.
Let me explain something to you. Canada and America are built off of immigrants. We're all immigrants. We weren't born here. We're all born in Europe or Africa.
All right, Jamal, you know what? Leave your front door open. Don't ever close it.
Okay.
You gonna feel safe? You gonna
I
feel safe, Jamal?
understand that, but what I'm saying is that if you're here, for example, right? If the system was to come into, I don't know, Canada, you had to be a white male between the age of 25 to 35, and that started tomorrow. But if I got into Canada today, I shouldn't be allowed to stay in the fucking country. I got in there that day before the rules got changed, right? So what I'm saying is, if the immigrants got here between Obama and Biden, and I'm sorry, Trump was in office between 20 and 2024, and a lot of immigrants showed up in America, and he had no issue with it, right? We're all following each other here. He had no issue for the first 4 years. He banned the borders in terms of the problem countries, like the Middle East, which I understand, and some other countries. But besides that, Europeans came in, Australians came in, New Zealanders came in, Japanese people came in, Chinese people came in. No issue. They all become American all of a sudden, right? So tell me why they will not be allowed to have the right to be. You're born on the American soil. It's part of the fucking Constitution. That's why it got banned. He signed it, and immediately the judge said no, because it makes no sense.
Really, he shot it down.
He shot it down, dude. Day one, it was gone. The judge was like, no.
Yeah. I can see the reasoning because a lot of people were just abusing it as essentially a green card.
I understand that every system is going to be abused. That part I get. I know that we're going to have people who are going to abuse the system, but you cannot, as a president, remove a constitutional right. If you are in this country, now if you get removed from the country, that's a whole different story. But if you have the rights, you have the papers, right? What about people who become Canadian? They have to go through the same sense of, getting their papers right and registering as a citizen. Look, my female singer, she's Moroccan. She now has her Canadian passport for the last 2 years. She had to do a test of Canadian knowledge. You have to sing the national anthem, all this stuff. If you have your papers and you have the rights to be in America and you're an immigrant, I think you should have the rights that if you have a kid in America, that they're by birthright American.
Wait, but you just said they have all their papers, which means they're legal, right?
Yeah, he's deporting people. He's just deporting people. If the papers are in process,
if they're legal, then there's no problem. It's the illegal people who are being deported.
I don't know about that because I'm hearing a lot of cases of people who have their papers and are just getting shot out. And again, reading this from multiple sources, and not only that, but there are people who are being wrongly convicted right now in these big cities like Chicago, like Illinois, like New Orleans, that are being deported and they have their papers, and then they're being detained, and then when the American people go online and they check, they go, oh, he does have his papers, and then they send him back. The fact that they don't even know who's who is a problem. It's a fucking problem.
Yeah,
it makes no
sense. The
sense.
efficiency could come into question because you know how governments are with those kinds of things.
Well, then how could? But Elon Musk is supposed to take care of that. So then why the fuck he's not taking care of it?
Wait, Musk is taking care of that?
Yeah, that's his job, right?
No, I
his
thought
job is to make sure.
No, his was oh, you mean government efficiency for the papers?
There you go. Okay, but
I thought his efficiency was based on the economy, not documentation.
Well, I think he's supposed to take care of everything. Isn't that his job? He's supposed to take care of it.
No, I thought it was
the government's not running smoothly.
I thought it was about specifically the economics of the government, like in terms of like waste and all that.
It could be a part of it, but I'm pretty sure he has to deal with that too. I have a bone to pick with him later, but so then so the whole birthright ban that got banned day one. I get it. I know where you're coming from in the sense that certain people will abuse it, but there are also people who deserve it, and they're being wrongly convicted.
Are you saying they deserve to abuse it? Is that what you're saying?
No, they deserve to be American if they have the papers and they're immigrants in this country. And to be honest,
if they're here legally, then yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
there's no argument there.
But the thing is that the birthright, the constitutional birthright says if you are on American soil and you have a kid, the kid's American. That's it, flat out, right? Now, there is nothing saying that the parents are American. They're just saying that, like, for example, me, I am the child of two immigrant parents from Italy and America, right?
Wait, your mom was actually born in Italy?
No, she's born here, but she still has Italian heritage, right? So
then
fine,
she's not
I'll
an
say Canadian and American.
By your logic.
I'll say Canadian and American. I still have part American, right?
Yeah. Your dad was born in America.
Yes.
Okay.
So that means I get Canadian right now. My dad still has his American passport, and he has a Canadian passport. So if two immigrants go to America, they have a kid. No one said that they're American. If they don't have an American passport, then they're not American. But the Constitution says, if you're on American soil, you're American. Wouldn't that not make sense? Tell me where that doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, that does make sense. But if you're gonna abuse it, I can understand why you'd want to ban it.
How are they abusing it? If they choose America as their country to be a part of, which I definitely wouldn't choose at this point, but if you would choose that country to be...
but Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
If they're coming in illegally, getting pregnant, having kids, so that they have a leverage to be able to stay in the U.S., that's just abuse of a right.
Okay, but I'm saying if they come in by like a plane, let's just say they come from
Europe.
Yeah,
but is it legal, Jamal?
Well, if they come here by a plane and they cut through security and they land in America,
are they there legally though? In your hypothetical situation, are they there legally?
They're coming to move to America, yes.
So they have all the documentation. Then there's no problem.
No, they're coming here. They're going, I want to move to America. They don't have to. As a European or as a Canadian, if I go to America tomorrow, they go, how long are you staying for? I'll say I'll be here for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but then if you're on extended stay, you have a visa, and when that expires, you're officially there illegally. That's how that works.
So what you're saying is that system, right? Which is first of all, to apply for a visa, good fucking luck. It takes fucking forever. It takes the longest time. But for me, what I'm saying is that the USA birthright, those children are American. by
Yes,
default.
but
The parents.
if the parents broke the law coming into the U.S., send them back.
You're gonna send the parents back and leave the kid here.
No, well, they should take the kid, assuming the kid is pretty young.
For me, it should be. So you came here illegally. Why did you come here illegally? Well, I wanted to have a better life. America, your job is like America, Canada, is to provide a better life for people who may not have that life in
Nope.
Mexico.
No.
What do you mean no? So
No
you're
one-
telling them fuck off?
I'm not telling them fuck off. I'm saying raise the standards around the world. I had this.
And that's America's job. America's job is to do that, no? If the
I
race
wouldn't.
standards
I
around
wouldn't
the
say
world-
it is no, but they have tried to do it, which I think is
Okay.
is not necessary. Or
So what I'm saying
this
is
is where
that
we get
if
to
it's-
semantics, because on one hand, I think they should avoid global conflicts in terms of like military and war and all that.
yeah.
But then at the same time,
yeah.
what happens is abuse of power, like we saw time and time
Like,
again.
I think it was like Afghanistan. What's the
Well,
whole when they pulled out,
because that's
right?
the thing, though. It's the idea of like, oh, America is the shield of the world, keeping everything just and right, avoiding global conflicts. But then you have things like this where it's like, oh, so everyone should just go to the U.S. or advanced countries and just use up the resources just because, oh, it's a great
Yeah, but-
place, everyone should
yeah,
live
but-
there. But that's not
okay, but-
physically possible.
Yeah,
So-
but we need people. Especially, I'll give you an example. Here, not even in Quebec, for once, in Saskatchewan, they have clinics where they have no doctors, and it's not for a matter of how much money they're gonna make when they go to Saskatchewan. Is that there's just not enough people. There's not enough people to deal with the influx of people living in that town. I forgot where in Saskatchewan, but they have a small town where the clinic can only be open 5 days a week because they do not have enough doctors for 7 days. And even for the 5 days, they're open from 9 to 9. I've never heard of a clinic not open 24 hours. We, as a third world country, have the
Jamal,
ability.
In this situation, though, do you really think sending over a bunch of immigrants are gonna happen to have hundreds or thousands of doctors in that? I feel like you're
But
just gonna
is it
add more
possible
problems
to
because you're gonna get
not-
more people who aren't doctors who are gonna need clinical help.
Who are gonna do what? They're gonna do what? What I'm saying is compassion. Have some sort of fucking compassion. If these people, for me, for the refugees that came here in Quebec, for the people who are going, oh, we should kick them out. For what? For
Well,
what?
because I think I haven't, from my personal experience, I haven't seen the quality of life go down in
No, I have not
in
either.
Quebec.
In fact,
But
yeah.
because here we have stricter regulations and we aren't bordering a country that's just constantly sending people like hundreds of thousands a week, right? Because in the U.S., what's happening is they're being flooded and bombarded by millions of people in a short time span. So their infrastructure and society can't adjust in a timely fashion. Because originally, I think the number of people they would get was between 50 and 100,000 a year. But in the last 4 years, they've received 10 million, which is just a massive number. So what happens is, with an influx of population, is you get a decrease in the quality of life because your tax dollars are going to places that they wouldn't otherwise go. So what happens is your healthcare goes down, infrastructure
They
quality
don't
goes
have a
down,
healthcare system.
benefits go down, and what happens is everyone suffers, and you're degrading the quality of life that you were
Okay.
so loving.
So then, what I'm saying is that these people come in here, they power the factories, and we're gonna give that same example that I gave to you fucking months ago when I spoke about. I said, which American's gonna go out in the field and
Which
pick
is
tomatoes?
incredibly racist.
Okay, it
You're
could be
literally
as
saying
racist-
you want to use the illegal immigrants as slave labor by
Okay.
paying them cheap. That's
let-
insane.
But let me ask you, who's gonna do it? Are the Americans gonna do it?
Anyone who's willing to work will do it.
No, you're not answering my question. Are the Americans going to go out and pick tomatoes in the fucking heat in New Mexico? No, they're not.
Yes,
No,
they
they're
would.
fucking not.
Yes,
No, they would not.
That's racist.
No, you would
That's
not.
racist.
The white average American person is not going to do that job.
And you're
I've
being
never seen
racist about it.
I 100% am being racist about it because it's the fucking truth. It's the fucking truth. Please tell me which American state goes, yeah, our white American people love going out into the fields in the 40-degree heat, making $5 a day, picking tomatoes off the vine.
So
Tell me What
So
state does that?
do you think black people should have kept exclusively picking cotton?
But what I'm saying is that did it not help? As much as slavery was bad, did it not help the American
Now you're
age
for
grow?
slave, Jamal. Do you hear what you're saying?
I'm not saying I'm for slavery, but I'm saying at that time, it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm saying that at that time it helped, right?
Well, yeah, because they
Okay,
weren't
so
being
then there you
paid.
go. Okay, so then what I'm saying is that these illegal immigrants, they come in here, they get these jobs that power the American, well, I guess factories or they power, they get.
Well, you just
food-
say
they
you could
fuel
just say they
themselves.
feed America,
They
essentially.
feed America,
based
right?
on your argument.
So then if you deport them all, who's gonna feed America?
You think everyone's just gonna starve?
I don't think they're all gonna
You think
starve,
people are
but
just
I
gonna
think-
sit at home and be like, "Well, there's no one picking the stuff. I guess we'll just sit here and wait and die."
Well,
Because that's what people do, right? That's what white people do in your mind.
They're
You
not
fucking
gonna go-
racist.
They're not gonna go to that degree, but I think it's gonna be some growing pains. There's gonna be some growing pains, 100%. That's why I'm saying, have some sort of compassion for these They're risking their lives to come in here. There's gotta be a reason. They want to do
Jamal,
They
though,
want to do it
it's
for fun.
you break the law, you get punished for it. You don't just break the law and be like, "Oh, I guess we'll just give you a smartphone and a couple $100 a week."
Oh, but what I'm saying is, put them somewhere and go. Okay, you want to live in America? No problem. Okay, what do you need? You need papers. Okay, let's get you the papers. Boom, boom, boom. You got your papers? Okay. Where'd you want to go to Florida? Okay, boom. How that? Why is that so difficult?
Because you have massive amounts of people coming through, and you need to make sure they aren't criminals or moving
And check.
drugs, part of gangs, gonna kill
and do-
people. A lot of people died
and do the
because of
check.
illegal immigrants not being vetted before coming into the country.
Then there's a lot of illegal immigrants everywhere.
That's
So
the
then
problem.
why is America? So then why is America the only country who's gonna go? Okay, no, we're gonna deport them. It makes no. We have.
Because they're
we've
causing
brought in
problems
ton-
and they're costing taxpayers a ton of money every year.
Oh, and you're telling me that the American people don't cause? How many school shooters are white?
Why are you being so racist today?
How many school shooters are white?
I don't know. There have been
A lot.
there have been colored kids too. Don't worry about it. You
So
represent.
yeah, a couple here and there, but most of them are white.
Do you know
and
why
most
that
of
is,
them are
Jamal? Though
American. Why?
you know why that is?
Why?
Because America is mostly white. Therefore, it's
Mm-hmm.
the odds of it being a white person are higher. That's how that works.
Okay. So then, because you're saying that the illegals come in and they're the one who cause all the gangs and they're the one who kill all the people. I don't know.
Yeah.
School shooters did a
Well,
pretty
not
good
all
job.
of them, obviously, but it
okay,
has
so-
happened.
So then choose your words carefully, because you're saying, oh, it's their fault. It's not their fault.
No, I'm
Some
not.
of
I'm
them
not
are
saying.
really
I'm not saying
coming in here-
100% they're to blame. They're a contributing
Okay.
factor to increasing crime
Yeah,
rates.
for sure. I think everywhere there's going to be multiple walks of life that are going to be a contributing factor to that. What I'm saying is that let's not generalize and just say that it's only the illegals from Mexico who are bringing in gangs and stuff like
No,
that.
but
Now I will agree
the
the
point,
drugs are
though-
bad. The drugs are bad. I
Yeah,
will agree that
exactly. The
because
point is
fentanyl
though,
very
Jamal,
high.
you have
Yes.
a problem. You try
Mhm.
to solve the problem. You don't just ignore it and being like, "Well, we got to be nice." Just let everyone in.
Well, not okay. Again, we're not living. I'm not saying that letting everyone in is the best idea. What I am saying is that there needs to be a better, proper screening situation than what's being done right now at the border between Mexico and America.
Mhm.
Right now, it's inhumane, and the power that these officers have is way too high. They're power tripping. They're fucking power tripping.
What officers?
they know-
the
and
border
the ICE.
officers,
ICE. Is it ICE? What's it called? Isn't it ICE?
the people
Isn't
who
that their
go
name?
around rounding them up to send them back.
Yeah, ICE.
Yeah, how are
Pretty
they?
sure it's ICE.
How are they power tripping?
Dude, they're walking into people's houses, just taking them and leaving. They're just walking like, you, come. It's like, no, oh, we did our research, no, oh, what's your name? Just you. You're brown, come. It's like, and not only that, where's the first city that Trump sent them? Chicago.
Oh yeah,
What?
he did that for that would be not retaliation, but like a taste of your own medicine because they were advocating for it
They were advocating for what?
for legal immigrants.
So then he's going, okay, so then you want to leave immigrants, take them all out?
Yeah.
So you're just gonna go into the city, find people, and just go come, and then deport them.
If they're illegal, yes.
But they're not doing anything. Like they're sending them out before they are even checking to see if they're legal or not. You know that, right? They're just taking them. They're going, you might be, so we're gonna take you just in case. And you're okay with that?
I don't know the process of what they're doing and how they're doing it, but
They are. I saw videos. They're walking into people's houses. If they knock and they don't answer, they break down the door. They take them, and then they go. That's it. And then when they're detained, then they check to see if they have their papers or not. And not only that, some people have their papers, but because America is such a fucking problem in terms of getting stuff delivered on time, but that's every country, Canada too, I'm not gonna exclude anyone, they have their papers en route. It's coming, it's just not there yet. You know how long it takes to get, like, for example, my female singer, again, you know how long it took her? It took her 9 months to get the papers to become Canadian. Even though she applied for it 9 months ago. She applied for it, it only got processed 9 months later. So people who are really trying to do it the right way, like you said, be legal, whatever, may not just, maybe they're waiting for their papers. So what, you're gonna deport them until the papers show up?
well, I would assume that they would have started with all the people who got their what do you call that? Essentially, because I know the Biden administration was essentially handing out pieces of paper that said, "Here you go, you're an American," and that's just bullshit because they didn't check anything. They just went, "Here's all your papers so we can send you money, and give you your cell phone." I would assume they would start with those people because those are the ones who like really contributed to the flood.
I don't even remember.
Otherwise,
that Biden part,
because I think
okay.
because I think the logical thing would be to start with those people and then work your way back, because the people that way the papers can still go through in a timely fashion, and you wouldn't end up sending people. Well, I think you'd send people back by accident at the same time, no matter what, because you know how the paperwork process is and all that.
Yeah.
But
So then you're admitting that there are cracks to his system.
I don't know if it's his system necessarily. I think it's the way the government works actually.
What other? It's Trump's system, right? This is his system. He wants to mass deport, but there are cracks in his.
No.
He said
it's
he
not.
said we're gonna mass up. We're gonna round up all the illegal immigrants. He's rounding up all the illegal immigrants plus the Americans. So there are cracks in his system.
Sure, if you want to put it that way.
Well, what other way am I supposed to put it? It's not perfect. It's not working perfectly, right?
Yeah, and I don't think it can.
Exactly. So then that means that there are cracks in the system.
Yeah,
That's
but
all.
at that point, does that mean you should just stop because?
No, I'm not saying stop, but I'm saying refine it, make it better.
Well, ideally,
it to
that's
where-
what's. I would assume that's what's happening to avoid
I don't
further
think he's doing that. No,
problems.
he's just fucking sending these police officers who now have the power of God, because they can't be fucking touched, they can't be sued for anything, and they're rounding up people and sending them away. They cannot be touched, Patrick. The police force cannot be touched,
Yeah.
or the
Well,
ICE force.
Well, that's the
what you
thing, though,
wanna call
because assuming if they go to someone's residence, right, and to be deported, like it's official, foolproof, they're here illegally.
it. But they don't have that.
No, okay,
They're just
no, I'm just
going
saying
off the
in this.
assumption.
No, but in this hypothetical. Okay,
Yes.
That's why I said it that way. Foolproof, 100%, guaranteed.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
they're here illegally. They knock on the door. Hey, we need to deport you. The person's not going to let them in, and at that point you have to use
course.
excessive force because people won't
100%.
comply because they're like, oh, I want
Yes.
to stay here no matter what. So
Yes.
at that point,
But
then if you're watching a video, you don't know necessarily if they're actually there illegally or legally, and that is the problem. Because
then
it'd be
you say
nice if you could
every-
just have a scanner and you just put it to someone and be like, oh,
Exactly,
legal,
right.
illegal. Be a
For
lot
sure,
easier,
yeah.
but you can't do it that way.
It would be the dream, but it's not. But what I'm saying is that you're telling me all the videos that I watched, I have watched one of was 45 minutes. Every single one is 100% foolproof illegal alien. I highly
Ideally,
doubt
but unlikely.
Okay, so then there you go. So that means they're using excessive force because they have the power of God, because they're power tripping, and they're allowed
No, but
to
that's
just
that's
walk
the
through
thing though.
people's
You
home.
don't know for sure. I
You
guess
should not be allowed to break down someone's door and take them by force if you don't know for sure.
so you just
That's
leave
the
them
fucking
there,
problem.
and you don't know if they're a criminal or
No.
not. You don't know if they're moving opioids,
No,
causing
but you
gang
get the
problems in your neighborhood.
information. You get the information. You go, excuse me, sir. We need this information. You don't have it? Okay, could you come with us? We're gonna put you in handcuffs. We're gonna detain you. Not just walk in and fucking grab them and take them out of their house, throw them in the van, and deport them.
I think it's
Maybe
a
they don't
question.
even speak
It's a question of efficiency and resources, because
efficiency.
if you have to no, I mean, okay, efficiency of like between getting the job done and getting it done in a way where it's 100%, no legal Americans were deported, right?
Yeah.
Because if you spend your time doing full-on investigation for each and every person who you're not sure about, it's gonna take decades because there's so many people, and at this point,
So basically, you're saying
I think it's
do
an
it in the most
impossible task at this point.
it is impossible. So for him to be trying, I mean, good luck. But what I'm saying is that they're doing it in the most inhumane way possible. It's inhumane how they're doing it. If you watch the videos, if you sat down and watched ICE videos, because they all have body cameras, but have you sat down and watched? You sat down and watched people having dinner in their homes. The officers go 1, 2, 3, boom, break down the door. They grab the dad or they grab the mom, whatever.
They didn't knock first?
The kids are... No!
That
They're
is
just
strange.
breaking into houses.
Do they have incentive to think there was anything dangerous inside? Any weapons or
They
something?
just inside. No, they just are grabbing the people. They're not grabbing anything. They got fucking body armor from head to toe. Even if there was a bullet, they got what do you call that? The body armor stuff.
The vest?
Yeah, what do you call it? What's in the vest again?
Well, it's a bulletproof vest, right? Kevlar?
Yeah, it's Kevlar. Kevlar. I think that's the word I was looking for. Like they have Kevlar. You know, it's like it is basically just crazy how they're just running in there, grabbing shit. Kids are crying. They don't understand what. I mean, of course they understand what's going on, but it's like they're like going, okay, they're going. Listen, this is my name. I'm an American. I'm an American. I'm an American. And they're going. They're not even saying it. They just grab them and go. Now some of them could be lying, 100%, 100%. There's definitely chances where some of them could be lying.
That's the problem.
But
Going forward, though, because what would
okay.
happen, because you're talking about, you still want to let people in, right? But at the same time, you want to have them have the proper documentation, have their full background check to make sure no criminal activity in the past. So, but typically what would happen, like if you're coming from, we'll say somewhere in Europe, somewhere like a first world country, you don't have, you can send it over your information to the U.S., and while they're processing you can wait at your place, right? Until you get like official, like, oh, okay, you're good, you can come over legally, you're gonna be an American, right? Yeah. But because people from Mexico can't really do that, they just cross. Do you think they should instead set up like essentially camps at the border so they can wait during processing?
It wouldn't be a bad idea to at least give them a place to where, because you know a lot of these people who go across this border, especially on the Mexican side, right? It's for a chance of a better life. You know, the gang wars are rapid over there. That I will admit, Mexico's a fucking mess. Not gonna even deny that one, right? But it's like they're still human. Let's put them somewhere to where they can take their time. They have the infrastructure to just put them alongside. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. My screen, my computer went to sleep. That's why I was like, oh shit. But it's like, you know, put them somewhere where they can just at least have a little cot. You don't have to give them like a fucking apartment, but just a cot where they can sleep, right? And then you can take the time to process it. If they don't have their papers, then send them back. Or if they're, you know, communicate with the other leaders, with them. You know, we have tabs on most people, right? You know, like even in the example that I'm giving, in the sense of people breaking into their homes, they know who lives there. They register for the house, right? They gotta have some sort of record. Find their record. Find the record. Find the name. Oh, this person's name is John Smith. John Smith seems to be American. Instead of breaking down their door, sending them over to the fucking border, and then going, oh, that's the American, and sending them all the way back. And I don't even know if they're even paying for them to send them all the way back, or if they're giving them the money to send them home. I don't fucking know. That I couldn't find.
Giving who the money? What money?
Huh?
You said they're giving the money?
No. What I'm saying is that if let's say you get deported from like fucking Chicago, and they bring you to the Mexican border, and you actually are American, are they gonna give you money for a plane they send you back?
Oh, like a compensation type thing.
Yeah. That part I couldn't find.
That'd be nice.
So that part that part I'm gonna leave blank because I don't want to speak and then I'm wrong, because that part I have no clue. I couldn't find any information on that. But what I am saying is that this needs to be done in a more humane way. That's ultimately what I'm trying to say here, is that how it's being done right now is inhumane, and it needs to be changed. For me personally. Some people are probably okay with it, but for me, it needs to be done in a better way. Now, moving on to the big one, the tariffs,
Yeah,
right?
real quick, so
Now,
I can only give you
yes.
10 more minutes.
You're going to give me 10 more? Okay, so
Yeah.
then you know what then? We're gonna say tariffs for another time because
Okay.
it's a fucking, no, dude, it's so much shit in there. Let's just go real quick then, you know what? We'll take a pause for the American politics. We covered one subject. We have like, what, fucking 6-7 more. But we'll talk about, I want to talk about quickly about the Canadian politics. You did bring up about Polyev and the Canadian politics. I do want to say, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I was on Papa Polyev's boat for a long time, and then he said something, and then that completely changed my mind.
What'd he say?
So there was of course, Trump also appointed, was that one I agree with. I'm going to agree with to about 50% of it, that there are only two genders, right? Male and female.
Damn straight.
And they interviewed Polyev about that, and Polyev goes, I also only recognize two genders, but I think the government should not be involved in what people identify themselves as,
Oh,
right?
no. He said
So-
that?
Yeah, he said that. So, for me, that right there, for me, I wouldn't say I'm a LGBTQ whatever supporter, but as a person, if they want to identify as whatever, no problem. For me, there's always that line of, as long as you're not rubbing it in my face, you're not going, oh, you have to respect me because I'm A or pan or fucking trans or whatever.
Respect
they're
is
just-
earned. So
Respect
if you could,
exactly.
you could step off.
As long as there's respect on both sides, no issue. But to be forced to be categorized as male or female
Yeah.
is wrong.
From based on that statement, it sounds like he's playing both sides.
He is, but my worrisome is how he said, and I quote, "I only see two genders." That for me is a problem, because that means, the way I'm looking at it, if he were to get into
it
power,
contradicts his other statement then.
no, because what he's saying is that basically what he wants you to do is, what was your sex at birth? It was this? Okay, you can't change it. But I want to be identified as a woman. That's okay, but you can't change it. You have to be a male.
So like in terms of like documentation, it would be male or
Exactly.
female, but
Yes.
in your societal life, whatever.
But that's gonna trickle, right? Because I'll give you the example. When I was coaching soccer and I had a player who was a boy, was a girl, had a girl's name, but wanted to be identified as a boy. The problem was because
Did you shove her and be like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna take that? I don't know what you're doing here.
but it's like, on legal papers, it said female, so he could not play on a boys' team, because when you would sign up, they would go, well, the sex here says female.
To be
We can't
honest,
change that.
did that chick a favor. Would have been obliterated otherwise.
For sure, I mean, regardless of the fact, but what I'm saying is that I didn't really like the way Polyev has said it. What I am saying is that the way Trudeau's been talking, since he's now wanting to step down, it's really of a, what are you gonna do, fire me?
Oh, he's got like a no fucks type thing going.
He's got a no fucks giving. He's like, what are you gonna do, fire me? I'm already fucking leaving. I was like, yeah, we can't even do anything, because, like, again, now, we'll talk very, very quickly. I understand what you're saying about Trump using that as a leverage, and for sure, I think to a certain degree he is. But do you understand that a lot of American companies are saying, please do not do it? Please do not put tariffs. Do you understand that?
Yeah, because they're
And
outsourcing, saving money by having essentially slaves work on them in China and all that. So of course they're not going to want it to stop.
So then you're gonna want them to get them from where? From us?
Oh, I know you're racist and you don't think that white people want to do factory work. So But they're gonna do
Mexico
it.
actually do a lot of factory work for sure. No. That part I agree. I'm saying to get the supplies to do the factory work, where do you think they get it from? They get it from Canada, right?
There you go. Then they got more
especially
leverage.
aluminum.
So we're good. What's the problem?
So then we have more leverage.
You just said they're getting the resources from Canada. That means we have
Exactly.
leverage over them economically.
But okay, but then why are you trying to hurt another country?
What are you talking
Why
about?
why are we trying? Why are we trying to hurt each other? For the longest, the world has always relied and worked on cooperation,
Jamal?
right?
Jamal?
Hmm.
The U.S. is $36 trillion in debt.
The whole world's in debt,
They
Patrick.
could use a layup.
No, but the whole fucking world's in debt. I'm trying to figure out the who because
Our
that makes
alien
no sense.
overlords.
Yeah, basically, right? But it's like, we'll talk about it more. I know we have to let it go. But basically, for me, the tariffs, bad idea all around. It hurts everyone except, it hurts everyone. I don't even, it really helps even like the big boys at the very top. I think it hurts them too. But we'll talk about it another week because we have a shit ton of stuff to
Yeah.
just to fucking catch up on. So
Well,
we're trying to do some
just to
damage
close
control.
out on the tariffs.
Yes.
From,
Yes.
from what I'm seeing, it seems like he's using it as leverage and leverage only. Maybe there'll be an increase, but it won't be a substantial like 25% like he's claiming, because I think that's just essentially used to get what he wants, and that's how it's gonna start.
Well, so far so good. We'll see. Maybe that's the case. I do agree that the border security needs to be tightened. That I will give him. I will give him that 100% because there's a lot of guns that come from America into Canada, and that should not be the case. So we do need to tighten up our border security. I know that our border security is fucking sad because I brought shit across the border illegally and they never checked me. So,
What did
well,
you
not
bring?
big stuff. A fish. Like, it wasn't fucking...
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, you can't bring live animals across the border.
Yeah, but fish aren't really alive, are they?
Well, they breathe, no? they got gills. Like,
You talking about like
it
a
was fish
goldfish
that-
though?
No, it was like basically my grandmother for like a good like 4 or 5 years had like this whole like fish craze, and they were like we went to PetSmart down in America, and we could have a Nexus card, right? They ask you less questions because the Nexus card is the trusted travelers thing. She goes, "Oh, I really like this fish." I was like, "Okay," bought the fish, put it underneath my car seat, and then we were like, "What are you bringing?" It was like cake, cookies, and hot dogs, which I also did have in my car. She's like, "Okay, bye." So it's like, to a degree, yeah, I think the border needs to be tightened. I think that's a bit too easy, for sure. So I do agree with that part. That part I agree with. Even the Mexican border has to be tightened. That part, 100%. For them to then, what I'm saying is that I just hope that he doesn't actually implement those tariffs. And like you said, if it's a smaller 10%, okay, yeah, not too bad, fine. And then also, I do agree in the sense that Canada needs to also find other partners to trade with. We should not be relying on the America so much
Yeah,
to begin with.
you
We
gotta
rely on them a lot.
diversify.
Yeah, we do because and they're talking to Europe because Europe, for the longest time, like you can trade with us, but we've never like wanted to for some reason, which we should be. So maybe there a part of it is good. I will admit that a part of it is good, but a lot of it is bad. But we'll talk about that more next week. Okay, this is Flabbergasted by Audacity. I'm Jamal,
And I'm Patrick.
and we'll see you guys next week. I can now like remove like 2
The decision rests with you. Rests with you.